Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to go over the character review for XSR Plus Dowon. Since this unit is an XSR Plus, we're not going to talk about the base kit and the exclusive equipment in that much detail. We're going to focus mostly on the revolution, ignition weapon, investment, and team building. I'm going to start with a general overview of the unit. I can say that XSR Plus Dowon has been changed from a DPS unit to a utility unit. She's only going to work in blue element teams, or at the very least, you need to have some blue element allies, otherwise, she's entirely worthless. She's going to reduce the active skill cooldown for blue element allies, and she's going to do that super frequently, which is good. So overall, she's not worthless. We have some blue units that really depend on their active skills, like Revolution Bomb, Alfine, Garam. We also have potentially Data Machine that can extend her immortality. We have Urek. We also have Okni. So we have a lot of units. We're going to cover them in the team building section of the video. But yeah, I can say that she's definitely valuable. The question is, do you need her? She's a bit too niche. So if you don't have the units I just mentioned, or if they're already in teams and you cannot afford to remove them, then probably you don't need Dowon. But if you have the possibility of using her in like with those kind of units, she might be a very nice pick. She only provides that. Again, she might be sort of a sub DPS in some way if you are at lower deficits, but otherwise, she's just going to be a unit to reduce the active skill cooldown of your blue element allies, which again is very niche. She might gain even more value in the future if they release more blue units that rely on active skills. So her value, I think, can only go up, but could also be that she's just being like she will be forgotten, could also be because we don't know really if this kind of utility will be enough to justify using a slot, because really she only does that. Okay, you can give her Doris, which at that point you also provide energy decrease and swiftness buff, so that could be an option, but I don't know. Like in general, she's great, but really you have to think if she can fit your account. Also, this video came out a bit late. I already mentioned like if you should pull her or not in the tier list video, and I think also in the first impression or some of the early videos. But in general, you should pull XSR Plus units on the last day. That's kind of the way you want to do it. So even if this video came out just now, you are still in time. Like you did not need to pull for this unit in the first days. You can always do it before the banner is gone, obviously. So yeah, that's what I wanted to mention about this unit. So definitely good, just utility and not DPS. Don't pull for her if you're looking for a DPS unit. In terms of base kit, I'm going to quickly mention that, as usual, as for all the other XSR Plus units, the percentages have been reduced more or less across the board. So there's that. Like the damage part has been reduced. Also, the buff part has been reduced. So, okay, whatever. It's just a weaker version of the SSR Plus. The exclusive equipment is exactly the same as before, no changes, so we're not gonna talk about that. For Revolution, we have that Revolution 4 gives her energy every time a blue element ally uses a skill. This is really good and will allow her to spam the special move. And the special move will then provide the 10-second active skill cooldown reduction for all blue element allies. This is really good because you are going to reduce their cooldowns, which in turn will give you energy to then reduce their cooldowns even more. So it's kind of a loop, and it's really, really good, guys. So that part is great. I think these two revolutions work really well, so no complaints from this point of view. Now, in terms of ignition weapons that you can build there, I would say Doris is number one, just because, again, she's utility, and giving Doris will add some more utility on top, which I think is really good. This could leave an issue with survivability. So if you see that your Dowon dies while running Doris, then you can go for Barry or L. They will be perfectly fine. L is probably the preferred option, so that she also generates more energy and she can like protect herself fairly well. But Barry obviously always works. Runda is also an option, kind of on the same level as Doris, but I think there are more units that are going to run Runda than the units that are running Doris. So kind of up to you. Run one of the two. They're both fine. Then we have for the investment guide is pretty straightforward because we have Rainbow 5 as the mandatory requirement. Otherwise, there is no point in playing this unit. If she's not Rainbow 5, she does not provide the active skill cooldown reduction. And at that point, just don't use her. I mean, it makes very little sense. And in terms of stats, here I gave magic resistance and physical resistance. That only works, obviously, if resistances are still working at your deficit. Otherwise, you can go crit damage and pierce, or you can go effect resistance and whatever you want. Maybe effect resistance and pierce, up to you. But the main focus is keeping this unit alive, so you need to build whatever can achieve that. If resistances work, go resistances. If they don't, go either damage or go effect resistance and stuff like that. So that's it for the ignition weapon stats. In terms of investment in the subnodes, I think only accuracy, swiftness, and effect hit are at most what you need. There are not really a lot of effects that she needs to apply, but she has sort of a knockdown on the special move, so that's going to be pretty important. But it's kind of up to you if you want to do that kind of investment. I think swiftness is mandatory, the others kind of up to you. For recommended is basically the same. We just have higher investment in the ignition weapon. Also, we unlocked the plus 30 in the exclusive equipment, just as a minor change. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the rest is all the same. And for the nice to have, same thing. We just have plus 35 with exclusive equipment. We have plus 20 in every single slot of the ignition weapon. And we also added HP on top. Now, HP is not useful for a kit. It's just here if you're running resistances because it helps keeping the unit alive a bit more. But again, only if resistances still work for you. Otherwise, don't bother with it. And that's all for the investment. Pretty simple. Don't bother with all the offensive nodes. It's not worth it, I think. It's just whatever. Just use her for the utility. And then for team building, we have very simple and straightforward stuff here. What she provides is just blue allies active skill cooldown reduction. She also has an attack buff for blue allies, but that's just minor, so whatever. What she needs is just survivability. She doesn't care about anything else. Energy, she can provide enough on her own. And, well, I would say what she needs is blue element allies as well. That could be a good thing. And which enemies you should avoid doesn't matter at all. It only depends on the kind of team you're running, because she's just there to provide the active skill cooldown reduction. Same thing for the units that this unit is good against, is exactly the same. Like, it doesn't matter. It will depend on the team you're running, and that's it. Then we have the part with unit synergies. So these are the units I already mentioned. We have Revolution Bomb, we have Alfin, we have Garam, we have Urek, and we have Hockney. So for Revolution Bomb, he has very good active skills. One of them is a super high burst that also provides defense decrease, and that's the skill we want him to spam. And he also has invincibility in all of his skills, so it's really important if you can cast them super frequently. He also has sort of a minor grouping effect. It's not that great, but it's okay. It's the other active skill. So he definitely wants to use the active skills, and is really a good combination with XSR plus Dowon. Alfin also has insane active skills. One of them provides accuracy and evasion decrease on the enemies, and the other one is going to deal max HP damage over time and also make an ally immortal, which is pretty cool. So reducing both of those is going to be really massive. Then we have Garam. Garam also has the cloak that is going to remove one enemy from the fight, and the other one is going to regen energy and decrease the defense of the enemies. So both of them really, really valuable. Then we have Urek. As I was mentioning, we just care about the skill that is going to reduce the energy of the enemies. That's the only one we want to reduce the cooldown of, because the other one is a self buff that is going to be up all the time anyway. So it's kind of irrelevant, but fine. Then we have Hockney. Hockney has both skills that are pretty good. One of them is going to lock enemies and decrease defense, and the other one is going to provide energy and I think also attack buff to your highest attack unit. And that's really good. I mean, that already has very low cooldown, so you don't really need Dowon for that, but it's going to work as a battery for Dowon as well, because it's going to cast that active skill all the time, which means she's going to get from a Revolution 4 300 energy every time that happens. So that's really good. They have really good synergy, so it's more Hockney helping Dowon than the other way around, but overall, really good units. And that's about all. I could have added Datamashini because every time she uses a skill, she's going to extend immortality that she gets from the passive, but at the same time is not that insane. So yeah, for now I only listed these 5 units. If more are going to come out in the future, I might add them. But for now, that's more or less it. So for some basic teams, we just have a Dowon, Bam, Hockney, Alfin, Garam. So basically all the units listed before, except for Urek. And then we have in the multicolor team that I don't recommend. And in fact, I did not even make as a multicolor. I just added Ayura that is not blue, but doesn't matter, I would say. And she's going to provide this durability for this team. She's also going to provide the active skill cooldown reduction to spam more active skill, that in turn turn into energy for Dowon, that will reduce the active skill cooldown again. And basically, this team will spam active skill all the time. Is it good? Maybe not too much. We also want to spam obviously the special moves for Urek, but should be fine. I mean, it's not a bad team, but I'd rather go with a monocolor one, to be honest. You can replace BAM with Urek, it would kind of work the same. But yeah, definitely really, really solid teams. You could also run the other Garam if you want, but I decided to go with the XSR plus one just because she provides also the HP recovery block. But here, I wrote in the description here that you can run both Garams. Is the same. Both of them have really good active skills. Well, they have the same ones. So yeah, really, really good synergies there. And that's about all, guys. I don't think there is anything else to mention about this unit. She works really well in this type of teams, and you cannot really run her in anything else. Straightforward, simple, and she's a nice utility unit. If you can, definitely get her, and if you have these kind of units to run with her, definitely go ahead and do it. If you don't have these units, you can wait. I'm pretty sure they're going to rerun XSR Plus unit. We just need to see how that's gonna happen, because so far we didn't have a single rerun yet, so no idea. And yeah, thanks so much, guys, for watching. I will see you tomorrow for the live stream of the update. See you then. Bye.